Hello, movie lovers. It's Bob. Yeah, talking about the movies you watched this week. So let's get right into it. So here we go. Let me see now. I think I watched the movie 1946. They called it Nocturne. George Raft. He's a detective, and he's investigating a suicide. This guy gets shot in the head. There's all kinds of women in this movie, and they're all, they did it. Somebody did it. But anyway, he looks into that to see who did it. George Raft. Detective refuses to believe that this guy's death was a suicide, so he starts to investigate it. And it's from, what year, 1946? George Raft's a detective, right? He refused a lot of movies, but he didn't refuse this one. This one's alright, not bad, but, it gets a 6 out of 10. It's alright. But, like I said, George Raft. Alright, and then I watched a short. It's called a short back in the day. It's a short. It's about 45 minutes long. It's called The Boy and His Dog. This little boy walks by this old house, and there's a dog out front, right? And he's tied up to a busted up wagon wheel, and he's got this collar around his neck, and this collar digging into the dog's neck, right? And the dog's whining, So the boy he jumps the fence, and he takes the leash or the rope off the wagon wheel, right? So the dog doesn't drag him around the wheel or anything. Next thing you know, dog's following the boy home. Yeah, so anyway, guy finds out the boy's got the dog. He takes the little boy to court, and there's a judge there, right? Talking about the boy, the old man, the dog. So that's what this story's about. So it's not a bad story. I give it a 6. From 1946, stars Harry Davenport, and that's the old guy, the judge. I'm pretty sure that's the judge. And Billy Sheffield. He was a young actor back in those days. So that's gets a 6 out of 10, of course. And then I also watched Ode to Billy Joe. Though the last one these are on TCM, the last few movies I'm talking about. I also watched on TCM Ode to Billy Joe. Most of you know Ode to Billy Joe. Bobby Benson and Glynis O'Connor. And these young people are probably 17, 16, 15, something like that, teenagers, right? So, yeah, it's from that song, Ode to Billy Joel, right? The song that everybody knows. This is the summer of 1953. Story about teenagers riding the school bus and chatting, going for walks and stuff like that, and having a jamboree, and everybody gets drunk and drinking and all kinds of stuff. And anyway, one thing, I guess I say, leads to another. It's an old saying, but I keep saying it. And something happens to Bobby Benson's character, and he's not too happy with himself. And yeah, so I give that a 7 out of 10. Ode to Billy Joe, TCM. It's a pretty good movie. If you haven't seen it, watch Ode to Billy Joe. If you ever come across it, watch it. Interesting movie. Takes place in the summer of 1953. Alright, let's go on here. Another one. This one's from Crave TV. That's the movie channel here in Toronto, Ontario. And that's from 2018. It's called The Miseducation of Cameron Post. Takes place in 1993. Alright, so what happens is she's a gay teenager. She gets sent to a Christian gay conversion center where you get sent there, right? And they try to break you out of being a lesbian, a gay person, whatever is wrong with you, they try to break it out of you. One of those places. So it's I guess it's an interesting movie. It's about teenagers, and they're, and these people at this place is pretty well running the show, and they're not very good. They're not good. They're not very nice. Well, anyway, that gets what did I give it? Well, I don't even know if I gave it anything. No, I guess I didn't write that down. Anyway, I'll give it a 7. It's a pretty good story. Yeah, and it stars, what's her name? Chol, Schloe, 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 Grace Moretz, That young girl, yeah, she's been in a lot of movies lately. She's probably, well, she's probably 19 or 20 by now, but she plays the part of a 16-year-old. She still looks young, you know, the teenager type. But yeah, she's in it. So yeah, I'll give it a 7. That's 2018. And I watched Summer Stock, Judy Garland, Gene Kelly. That's TCM movie, right? And she's a farmer, and her sister brings all these people that are putting on a play, and they're going to put on a play in Garland's farm, and her sister shows up with bringing all these people there, and she didn't know it, and one thing leads to another. So I keep saying that, Bob. Anyway, Judy Garland becomes the star of the show, if you can imagine that. She knows how to dance, she knows how to sing, she knows how to tap dance, she knows a lot of things for being a farmer, right? Shows up one day and all of a sudden, you know, she can do things better than the other people can do. So she becomes the star of the show. That gets a 6 out of 10, and that's from, what year is that? 1950. Yeah, Judy Garland was having a hard time back in 1950. She wasn't doing too well, and she was missing some days and, you know, from movies and not being able to make movies. And I think the next movie she made after this was A Star is Born in 54. If I'm right. I could be wrong, as always. But yeah, so that gets a 6. It's not bad, eh? But, you know, Gene Kelly doing Gene Kelly, you know, he's singing and dancing and doing this regular kitsch. But yeah, 6 out of 10. And I watched So Big, Barbara Stanwyck. She's a dish, people, 1932. Her father dies. Her father was a gambler, you know. Made all his money gambling, playing cards in the gambling house. So anyway, he gets shot. They didn't really explain how he got shot, I don't think. Anyway, she goes home, he's dead. So she has to move on. So she goes to a small community and she becomes a teacher, and she lives with these people that farmers, right, that plant, you know, onions and cabbage and potatoes and stuff. That's pretty well what they have for supper, too. So, yeah. Oh? What? Well, I don't feel too bad right now.